Indeed, all conditioned things are impermanent, prone to arise and pass away. Having arisen, they cease. Their coming to rest is truest bliss. Monks, all conditioned things are of a nature to decay. Fulfill all your endeavours through diligence. Chapter 3. The Three Characteristics. Lakkhana. Introduction. The primary Buddhist tenet that all things can be separated into component parts is not intended to suggest a static world of composite objects. Rather, all things are seen to exist in the form of a stream. Each constituent element of that stream comes into being in dependence on other elements, in an unbroken flow of appearance and decline. No single element has an independent fixed identity. They are all impermanent and unstable. Indeed, the fluid nature of phenomena is possible owing to the interdependence and insubstantiality of their components. This stream of conditioned phenomena is naturally steady, dhatu, naturally stable and certain, dhamma, titi, and it is part of a natural order, dhamma niyama. It does not rely for its existence on a god, religion, or prophet. In Buddhadhamma, the role of a teacher is that of discovering and explaining this truth to others. The Buddha presented the teaching of the three characteristics, lakkhana, to describe this natural law of flux. The teaching is outlined in this way. Whether Tathagatas appear or not, this truth, dhatu, exists as constant and stable. That is, all conditioned phenomena, sankhara, are impermanent. All conditioned phenomena are dukkha. All things, dhamma, are non-self. Having fully awakened to and penetrated to this truth, a Tathagata announces, teaches, clarifies, formulates, reveals, and analyzes it. That all conditioned phenomena are impermanent, all conditioned phenomena are dukkha, and all things are non-self. Definitions of the three characteristics are as follows. Aniccatta, impermanence, instability, and inconstancy, the condition of arising, deteriorating, and disintegrating. Dukkhata, state of dukkha, the condition of oppression by birth and decay, the inherent stress, resistance, and conflict within an object due to alteration of its determinant factors, preventing it from remaining as it is. The internal imperfection of things, which prevents true satisfaction for someone whose desires are influenced by craving, tanha, and causes suffering for a person subject to clinging, upadana. Anatta, the condition of anatta, non-self, the condition of things being void of a real abiding self that owns or controls phenomena. The Pali adjectival terms for these characteristics are anicca, dukkha and anatta, respectively. The abstract noun forms are aniccatta, dukkhata, and anattata. As characteristics, they are known as anicca lakkhana, dukkha lakkhana, and anatta lakkhana. The commentaries occasionally refer to three characteristics as universal characteristics, samana lakkhana. All conditioned things exist in a state of flux, made up of interdependent conditioning factors, which arise and pass away in unbroken succession. Things are impermanent because of their instability and causal dependence. Conditioned things are subject to stress and friction, revealing an inherent imperfection. And all things, both conditioned things and the unconditioned, exist according to their own nature. They possess no self that acts as owner or governor of phenomena. Human beings, too, are comprised of constituent elements. The building blocks for human beings are the 5 aggregates. Nothing else exists besides the 5 aggregates. When we examine the 5 aggregates in turn, we see that each one is impermanent. Being impermanent, they are dukkha. They are distressing for one who grasps them. Being dukkha, they are selfless. They are selfless because each aggregate arises from causes and conditions. They are not independent entities. Furthermore, they are not truly subject to a person's control or ownership. If one were to truly own the 5 aggregates, one would be able to control them according to one's will and prohibit them from change, for example, from debility or disease. A key teaching by the Buddha describing the 3 characteristics in the context of the 5 aggregates is as follows. Bhikkhus, the body is not self. If the body were self, it would not lead to affliction, and it would be possible to have it of the body. May my body be this way, may it not be that way. But because the body is not self, the body leads to affliction, and it is not possible to have it of the body. May my body be this way, may it not be that way. Feeling is not self, perception is not self, volitional formations are not self, consciousness is not self. For if consciousness were self, it would not lead to affliction, and it would be possible to have it of consciousness. May my consciousness be this way, may it not be that way. But because consciousness is not self, consciousness leads to affliction, and it is not possible to have it of consciousness. May my consciousness be this way, may it not be that way. What do you think, monks? Is the body permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is that which is impermanent oppressive or easeful? Oppressive, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent, oppressive, and of the nature to change, fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, this is I, this is myself. No, Venerable Sir. What do you think, monks? Are feelings permanent or impermanent? Is perception permanent or impermanent? Are volitional formations permanent or impermanent? Is consciousness permanent or impermanent? Is what is impermanent, oppressive, and of the nature to change, fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, this is I, this is myself. No, venerable sir. Therefore, monks, you should see any kind of physical form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, consciousness whatsoever, whether past, future, or present, internal or external, coarse or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, as it actually is, with proper wisdom thus. This is not mine, this is not I, this is not myself. Many scholars have tried to prove that the Buddha acknowledged a self existing apart from the 5 aggregates. They claim that he only repudiated a self within conditioned phenomena, and that he affirmed an ultimate self. Moreover, they explained that Nibbana is the same as Atman, Atta. Nibbana is the self. I will elaborate on this matter in chapter 6 on Nibbana. Here let it simply suffice to say that all conditioned things exist according to their own inherent nature, which conflicts to the concept of a static, controlling essence of self. Things exist as they do precisely because they do not possess such a self. If a self were to exist and to interfere, things would not be able to exist as they do. Most people, especially those who have grown up in a culture espousing a self or soul, tend to seek out and seize some concept of a fixed entity, identity. Acting in this way satisfies a hidden, unconscious need. When their self-identification as one or more of the 5 aggregates becomes untenable, they create a new concept of self in which to believe. But the aim of Buddhadhamma is not to release one thing so as to grasp another, or to be freed from one thing only to then be enslaved by something else. As mentioned earlier, things exist according to their own nature. Their nature of existence is determined by the characteristic of non-self. If things were to possess a self, then by definition they could not exist as they do.